Welcome back to the Pro Sports Podcasters on YouTube. My name is Kobe. Most of you know me as Kobe from the podcast, and today I want to talk about 5 things you need to do to succeed at the Dapper Labs NFL All-Day platform. And it's not just about finding your favorite players, adding them to your collection, and seeing what happens, say, a year from now. Although it can be. If that's all you want to do, that's fine too. But if you're looking to really invest in NFL All-Day, make it a financial investment, find a way to earn money on the platform, then there are 5 things you need to do to give yourself the best opportunity. And the first of which, the most important by far, is learn about fantasy football. Get accustomed to fantasy football. Because fantasy football is the single largest driver of what's going to happen on the NFL All-Day marketplace during the regular season. The reason I say that is because we already have a fantasy football third-party variant through Own the Moment Rumble. We're going to have a number of performance-based challenges which can be tracked if you understand fantasy football and predicted if you understand fantasy football. So what happens week to week will decide on whether a particular moment goes up significantly or maybe drops a little bit in value. And if you're able to follow this and make educated guesses because of your knowledge from fantasy football, you'll be able to actually make a little bit of money as the season goes on. And if you do it well enough, make a significant amount of money depending on what your investment is. So understanding fantasy football is the first thing and the key thing when it comes to really investing in NFL all day. If you're not that familiar with fantasy football, there's a lot of different channels that cover it. I actually have a number of videos on my Cobe Life YouTube channel that cover fantasy football. Plus, we have quite a few podcasts that cover the fantasy football space. You can check that out on our podcast, www.prosportspodcasters.com. You'll find a section there for our podcast. You can look up, really, football. You'll get information. And we also have a number of articles on the website as well. I'll put links to all of this in the description. But fantasy football is number 1. Learn about fantasy football. Number 2 is understanding which particular players only have one moment on the marketplace. They have a single mint, whether that be a common or a rare. But understanding which players are covered by that particular aspect will lead you to opportunities to make a lot of money on those particular moments. And this ties in with performance-based challenges. This ties in with fantasy football. But off the top of my head, you've got some key fantasy-relevant players that say only have a common. So you've got Christian McCaffrey, who is the single greatest fantasy football player in the NFL right now. Right? Christian McCaffrey is number 1 overall when it comes to what he can do fantasy-wise. Right now, he only has a common moment. So that's a moment you're going to want to have in your collection. Same goes for Lamar Jackson, who is a former league MVP and put together one of the best fantasy seasons ever at any position, really. So he's got just a common available. Another one you want to have. So these are things you need to know. So when you're developing your collection, you can target some of these specific moments in case they're involved in, say, challenges or they pop during a fantasy football week. And then you don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get them or can sell them at a significant profit. Number 3 is be wary of the information that's out there. And one thing I would definitely warn you of is the actual all-day Discord general chat. There's a lot of misinformation that goes through that general chat. A lot. There's also a lot of selfish information that goes through that general chat. So there are people who maybe try and pump specific moments by talking them up using the all-day general chat because they've already invested heavily in those moments and they're hoping to make a profit on them. And the FOMO is real there, right? You're going to get a lot of chatter about specific moments or, oh, it's catching fire. Oh, this is the next big thing. Suddenly everybody's buying them and you don't want to miss out. So you end up paying a premium for these moments and maybe 6 days later, they've gone down to a acceptable level. And then you just have some flat out wrong information. A lot of speculation, and I mean wildly based speculation that has no real merit goes through that general chat. So you've got to be careful about what you're reading into some of these things. You're probably better off looking for information outside of the NFL All Day community and just the NFL community or the fantasy football community. All right, I started off as a NFL analyst, fantasy football aficionado, and then I got into NFL Day because of my knowledge of those things. So my previous channel, the Cobe Life channel, has some fantasy football on it. Our podcast has a lot of general football on it, and now I provide NFL All Day information through this particular YouTube channel. But you got to take what I say with a grain of salt as well, right? Because you don't know me. I'm doing my best to try and give you the best information, but a lot of it is going to be opinionated. All information when it comes to things like this is generally opinionated. Very rarely are you going to hear examples of fact. Maybe after the fact you will, but before it, you won't. So educate yourself first, then maybe look for some additional guidance. But don't look on the NFL All Day Discord general chat. If you want to join a Discord that really isn't self-serving, and I'm patting myself on the back here, but join ours. Join the Pro Sports Podcaster Discord, because we've got quite a few NFL All Day collectors on it, from the small collector to the very big collectors on the platform. And we're just sharing information. We're not telling you to do anything. We're just letting you know what's out there. And if new information comes to light, we're sharing it while we can. If you have any questions, you just go ahead and ask us. And we're also directly connected as a community partner with Own the Moment on their Jolly Jokers platform. And we occasionally have some of the guys from Own the Moment come in to answer questions that are more specific to their platform. That really is the fourth thing. Okay, I'm telling you, you should probably join our Discord or find a couple of independent Discords from just the All Day Discord that you can follow and you believe in. Go that route. And then number 5, and I've kind of mentioned it, but it's Own the Moment. Own the Moment, you want to set yourself up with an Own the Moment account, because they have the best NFL All Day analytics on the web. By far. By far. You want to track an individual moment, see if it's at a peak point or a low point. You want to find out whether or not moments you've been kind of watching, because you could create a watch list on their platform, are currently undervalued, or give you an opportunity to snipe one that's been listed too far below value to not take advantage of. They have all these tools on their platform. They're also the key link now for their Own the Moment Rumble, which is the first fantasy football application that uses NFL All Day. So if you really want to take full advantage of everything All Day has to offer, you really need to have an Own the Moment platform. You really do. If you don't, you're missing out on a big piece of what this particular collectible is all about. And those are the 5 things you need to do to succeed at NFL All Day. Till next time.